Poor Filipino kid's voice melts hearts on AGT Golden Buzzer shock reaction. The bright lights of America's Got Talent stage gleamed like 1,000 stars, yet for 12-year-old Mateo Cruz from the Philippines, they felt blinding. His hands trembled as he clutched the microphone, his shoes worn from years of walking barefoot through muddy streets in his small fishing village. He had never stood on a stage this grand, never seen such an audience, but he remembered his mother's words before he boarded the plane, "Sing with your heart, Anak. Don't be afraid. People will feel your soul." Mateo had grown up in a bamboo shack by the sea, where every night the waves sang louder than the radio his family couldn't afford. His father was a fisherman, often gone before dawn and home with little more than enough fish to feed the family. His mother washed clothes for neighbors, her back bent and hands raw. They didn't have much, sometimes barely enough for rice, but when Mateo sang in church on Sundays, his voice carried like sunlight breaking through heavy clouds. Strangers would stop outside the chapel just to listen. People whispered he had a gift, one too big for the small island he called home. When a foreign tourist uploaded a video of him singing barefoot on the village pier, it went viral. Offers of support poured in, and a charity group arranged for him to audition for America's Got Talent. For the first time in his life, Mateo boarded a plane, clutching a small bag his mother had packed with dried mangoes and a picture of their family. Now, standing before the judges, he felt the weight of the world pressing down on his tiny shoulders. Simon leaned forward, eyebrow raised, asking, "So, Mateo, why are you here today?" The boy swallowed hard. I want to make my family proud. And maybe change their life." His voice cracked, but the sincerity in his words drew a hush over the crowd. The music began, soft piano chords, and Mateo closed his eyes. He sang, "You Raise Me Up," his favorite song, one he had sung countless times to comfort his mother when her hands ached from work. But tonight, it sounded different. His voice rose pure and soaring, trembling with raw emotion. The audience leaned in, their eyes wide. Every note seemed to carry the story of his struggles, of hunger, of hope, of love stronger than poverty. Halfway through the song, the theater fell silent. Even the judges' smiles faded into awe. A woman in the front row wiped tears from her cheeks. When Mateo reached the climax, his tiny frame shaking as he belted out the final words, the room erupted into a thunderous standing ovation. Tears welled in Simon's eyes, rare, almost unthinkable. Sofia Vergara pressed her hands to her heart. Heidi Klum mouthed, "Wow." Howie Mandel leaned forward, whispering, "That voice, it's not just talent, it's spirit." Before the applause could even fade, something unexpected happened. Judge Sophia glanced at Simon, then slammed her hand down on the golden buzzer. The theater exploded in cheers as golden confetti rained from the ceiling. Mateo froze, staring in shock as the glitter coated his shoulders. His hands flew to his mouth, his knees buckled. He had never seen such beauty, not fireworks, not Christmas lights, nothing compared to this. In that moment, the world seemed to stop. He remembered his father patching torn fishing nets under the flickering light of a kerosene lamp. He remembered his mother's tired smile as she kissed his forehead. He thought of his little sister, who had never owned a toy but danced whenever he sang. And now, here he was, a poor boy from a forgotten village, showered in gold before millions. The judges rushed to the stage, hugging him as the audience chanted his name. Mateo whispered through sobs, thank you so much." But the real surprise came later. As the cameras rolled backstage, Simon approached him quietly, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Mateo," he said gently, "I don't usually do this, but I want you to know something. Whatever happens on this show, I'll personally make sure your family is taken care of." Mateo's eyes widened. He didn't know how to respond, but Simon's words felt like a promise carved in stone. News of Mateo's performance spread across the globe. Social media lit up with millions of shares, calling him the Filipino angel and the boy who made the world cry. Donations poured in, not just from fans but from strangers who wanted to help rebuild his family's home, support his education, and bring hope to his village. For the first time, Mateo's parents could sleep without fear of tomorrow. Weeks later, when asked how it felt to stand on the world stage, Mateo simply said, "I sang for my family. I sang for everyone who feels small but still dares to dream. And I learned something: kindness is louder than poverty, and love is bigger than fear." His story became more than just an audition, it became a reminder that sometimes, the most powerful voices rise from the humblest places. Mateo's journey was not only about music, it was about humanity, generosity, and the belief that no dream is too distant if the world listens with compassion. And so, a boy who once sang barefoot on a pier now sang to millions, wrapped in golden light, not because he was rich or famous, but because he reminded the world of something priceless, that hope, when shared, can lift us all.